Lesson 4.2, Dream Job. In this unit, or lesson rather, we're going to look at used to and would for things that we used to do in the past with a certain frequency. Then strong adjectives and talking about past habits. You will see that this is very much connected to this, because these two are two ways to express past habits. First activity is a listening. It says work in pairs, look at the photographs and answer the questions. Well, this is something you can do on your own. If we have time, we could do it in class. And then you're supposed to listen to people talking about their dream jobs and match speakers to the photographs. Just use the letters. We have A, B, and C. We've got Pauline, we've got Monty, and we've got Angie. Then you will have to answer also this question: what problem does each speaker talk about? And you will have a fill in the gaps activity in which you will have to put one word in each gap. Next, the C part says listen again. So then you're supposed to listen to that one more time and match the questions to the speaker Angie, Pauline, or Monty. So you're supposed to write A, P, or M. In the next activity, in activity number 3, shows you the strong adjectives. So you're supposed to read the audio script on page 168 and find strong adjectives in bold, and then match them to the gradable adjectives below. So here you've got good, wonderful, amazing, and brilliant. So those are superlative or strong adjectives that are derived from something positive, such as good. And you're supposed to find the others for bad, awful, big, enormous, small, tiny, tired, hot, boiling, cold, tasty, angry, interesting, pretty, and difficult. In short, what you say is that they are simply a much more, let's say, colorful way of using the adjective. Instead of just saying good, you say wonderful, brilliant, or awesome, something like that. Those are typically synonyms, but they are somehow stronger in their meaning. Then in activity 4A, you've got to do something very similar. You have to complete the conversations here and use those strong adjectives. For instance, in this one, the food here is very tasty, and the other person replies, yes, it's delicious. Okay, so this person is using a strong adjective to confirm what the first person has said. You can then check it with this listening activity that you're supposed to do. Next, we move to the next page, and in activity 5A, it says, read the text. What did the children dream of doing? Have they achieved their dreams? Well, you will have an answer with a fill in the gaps activity in which you will have to fill in the gap with just one word per gap. In the next activity 5B, it says look at the underlined words in these sentences here and match them with the rules 1 to 3. So a little below you've got the rules. Here are the rules, and you're supposed to match them with the rules. For instance, 1, use the past simple and not used to or would to talk about specific events in the past. Okay, that corresponds to D. One day I found a butterfly. So you write D here, and what it means is that this is one day, this just happened once. It wasn't something that took place regularly in the past. It was not a habit. Okay? And then fill in the other 3 gaps with the other 3 letters from the 3 examples. After that, you're supposed to go to the language bank in 134, and there you will see the rules explained more precisely. As you can see, here's the use of used to and would. Here's the form: positive sentences, negative sentences, and questions. Remember that this, we saw it in basic 2 level, okay? And this is always in the simple past, so there is no variation. And since it's a normal verb, after all, you use this auxiliary verb in order to form both the negative and the question. Okay, when you use the question, you use the auxiliary did, but obviously you drop the past tense D here and you put it in the present tense, just like you would do with a question like, did you play tennis yesterday? Okay, so the behavior is exactly the same. Remember that the meaning of these in Spanish is something like solía. Okay, so it means that this is an activity that I used to do in the past, but I don't do it anymore in the present. So what it says is talk about, you use it when you need to talk about past habits, okay? Like I used to play tennis every day when I was 16. Or states, that's something that is not an action. For instance, I used to have long hair when I was 16, and now I don't have long hair. I don't even have a lot of hair. Okay? So things normally have changed in the present, so are not true anymore. You can also use the past simple. Yeah, that's true. As a child, I used to play tennis, or I played tennis, or the example they give you here. Also, and this is something that you don't typically understand so much. Look at what it says here. We can use would to talk about past habits, but not about past states. If you think about my examples, when I was 16, I would play tennis every day. That's a synonym to I used to play tennis every day. But I could not use I would have long hair, because that's a state. You can see the other example here. And then you've got further explanations here, like do not use it to talk about things that only happened once, so not a habit. Like these, and never used to is more common in spoken English than didn't used to. We never used to. Okay, so this is more typical. It's the same because this is a negative. So they are actually the same, but we use more this one in spoken English. That's it. After you look at this one carefully at your own pace, then you do this one. It says cross out the alternative, which is not possible. So remember that you are crossing the one that is impossible, the one that is incorrect. Okay, and this is what you need to put in there. In this case, I used to play a lot of tennis when I was younger. The one that is impossible is play. This one, so you write play. You can say I used to play a lot of tennis. You can say I played tennis because it's a simple past, but then you can't say play in the simple present because you're talking about a past time when I was younger. Okay, so you're going to do the same for the others here. Write the one that is incorrect, remember. In the next one, it says make sentences with used to or would using the words in brackets. Sometimes both may be possible. So here you've got in ancient Greece, people used to think the world was flat, but Aristotle thought it was round. Okay? And you have to do the same for the others. In the following activity 6a, you have to complete the texts, and whenever it's possible, use would. Okay, so if you have the two choices, used to or would, then go for would. Where you can use used to or would, or where you cannot use any of those, then use the past simple. Okay, and you put it in the gaps in the platform. In the example, it's every young girl's dream to be an actress when she grows up. I used to love watching beautiful actresses on television. I used to love, okay, because it's impossible to say, because this is a state verb, you could not use I would love, okay? But in this case, you could also have used the simple past. I loved watching beautiful actresses on television. The only thing is that you're using used to because that's the one that you can use, and you're following the instructions from here, okay? And the same for the second text. This one is a listen and repeat activity. It's very good if you do it, because you pronounce well the how or practice how this is pronounced. You have here the phonetics for this. It's used to. Remember, this is a schwa here at the end. The final vowel or sound is a schwa. And this is very weak. It's used to. I used to. I used to go. I used to go. You don't pronounce used to. So you mix them, you link them together in the sound. That's what you need to look at when you're doing that. Then we've got the speaking activity that we may do at home, in class, I'm sorry. And then the writing activity, which is a covering letter. Then the writing activity, is a covering letter. And this is the one that you will have to do in this unit. Okay? It's actually this one. Look at the job advertisement. This one here. No, sorry, on page 163, be careful and write a covering letter for one of the jobs. And then you're going to use the sample letter and useful phrases to help you. So this is a covering letter. The covering letter is the one that you submit, the one that you send to the potential employer to, let's say, accompany your CV, okay? And to tell them that you're interested in a job, and in a very short text to tell them why you think that you are a good candidate for the job. But this is very much full of formulae, and you need to really learn those formulae and put them into practice in your letter. You can even check online for more. In any case, you will have to answer these, be if it's formal or informal. Then you've got example or sample expressions, and you will have to do 9C before you do that. Okay, 9C says underline the phrases in the letter which match this meaning, and they tell you in which paragraph they are. For instance, about would be regarding. If you go here, second paragraph, okay, I'm writing to you regarding. So this is a little bit more formal than say about, okay, and you will have to identify them in here. Then activity number 10, finally, says match the parts of the letter with the notes. Okay, you've got